Hey, beautiful people. This is Ramon and Monica Jones, sponsored by
Much to Say.
The Naked Perspective. You can't handle the perspective.
But if you think you can, let's get started.
Hey, beautiful people. We're so excited to be here once again, here live in the studio.
Yes.
It's a studio? So I say studio?
In the studio.
Live in the studio at
Yes.
KKVV 1060 AM. That's the background noise if you didn't know that. That's the people cheering here. We're so excited.
Yes.
It's a beautiful day.
It is.
And
it's a nice day
I
today.
love the dress you got on right now. That is just a gorgeous dress. You're a beautiful woman, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have such a beautiful woman. 23 years of marriage and counting. And so we thank God. It's not just about the number, it's about the maturity, and I thank God for just the level of growth that we've been experiencing in our life. That
You've been growing up?
I've been growing. I don't want to be a Toys R Us kid the rest of my life. I just don't. For those that don't understand what I just said, that lets you know how older we are.
Give me one way you grew up this month.
I grew up this month simply because I kept going, and that's what people just need to know. I keep going.
Keep going.
I'm like the Timex, the Timex watch.
Timex.
Yeah. I keep a licking, but I keep
on ticking.
Huh?
You ticking?
I'm ticking. Anybody else out there ticking? Took some licking, but you keep on ticking? That's what I'm talking about, because that's part of life.
Yes.
It's perseverance and not quitting, not giving up. Listen, we hope everybody had a great day.
I hope so.
Right?
I pray so.
There's a lot going on.
When there's a lot going on,
and this is not our subject, so we won't dive into it, but when there is a lot of things that are going on externally, like wars, earthquakes, and all that stuff, does that have an impact on relationships? Just real quick. I mean, I don't want to dive into that, and I know this was a random question.
Very random.
But I was just thinking, like, all of these pressures that people are experiencing and seeing it, does that have an impact on relationships?
It does. To those it matters to. So like even what's going on out in the news and why are you laughing? Because you asked me a random question.
Yeah, ask you a random
question.
question.
That's okay. I'm always ready.
Yeah.
We were taught how to do this.
This is right.
Right?
Yeah.
But the pressures of even like what's going on in the world with Israel and all of that, and for those that have a strong burden, like for instance for like prayer or for things that God is concerned about, of course that can have an impact on a relationship, right? Because those are external factors that come to kind of shake us up or prompt us to do something.
Yeah.
Right. And if the other person isn't aware,
I see how you brought that back.
Yeah.
That was
if
good.
the other person
That
isn't
was good.
aware, that can, create dysfunction, or you can use that as to learn how to become one, so that when these external factors do come, we can bond together in matrimony.
I love that. So then that could lead us into part 2. But before we go into part 2, I gotta
want me
make
to ask
this
you a random question?
No, don't ask me a random question. I got to state this. I have to tell these people about this. I have to tell these beautiful people about January 26th to the 28th.
Oh, January 26th.
I got to let you know it's
on.
going down here live in Las Vegas.
It is.
I went to the event. I personally went to it.
We went to the event center yesterday just to take care of some business.
Yes.
To take a tour again of the facility.
But this is my first time.
Your first time, yes. So I was
seeing
taking Ramon to go see the facility, because ladies, how we do it. We go book it. You know what I mean? Because we know he gonna like it. But when we got there, it was really a sight to see. Just the space that we're going to be able to have, which is it is on the property of the hotel, but it's a little bit away from the hotel. And so not only do we have the beautiful venue for all of the days, we have the adjacent outside.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where we're going to be able to do some cupcaking, I like to call it.
I don't know what that means, people. She's been saying that to me. I don't know
what cupcaking means, because when I said it earlier today, you cupcaked me when we was at church.
When
he be cupcaking me at church.
I gave you a kiss on your forehead. That's what cupcaking is? I've been cupcaking my whole life.
Cupcaking.
Oh, cupcaking. What did I say? Cupcating?
Cupcaking. Yeah, cupcaking.
So it's cupcaking.
Yes, cupcaking.
All right, I just learned.
Okay, if anybody has a real definition, those that are on Facebook Live, put in the in the chat. What does it mean to cupcake?
Yeah, because listen. Yes. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this, in the words of my dad. Listen, cupcaking. Yeah. So
anyway,
I'm excited about it. I'm gonna be honest with you, because since we've been doing Much to Say this platform, we usually would host the event at church. We've hosted it at the McDonald's.
Yeah, like their event center.
Their event center. And this is the
Different
first time that
churches.
we have opened it up to where people can fly in.
And it's a retreat.
And stay at a hotel.
Yes.
And they can wake up and come downstairs, and we're gonna be starting lot. I think I'm excited.
We're leveling up.
We are leveling up. This is growth.
Yes.
That's so you asked me how are you maturing? I just told you. I just told you how I'm maturing in this. Is I'm celebrating, I'm pushing what's in my wife's heart.
Yes.
I think that's important. You know, sometimes
I will say this: you've always been. I don't know if that's growth because you've always been a cheerleader for me. So.
Well, you know, let me make sure I'm clear. Everybody that's saying words don't mean in their heart that they're really behind what they're saying. You know, they just they just don't want to be the bad guy. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, so you was cheering me on and you really wasn't cheering me on?
No, I was, yes.
See,
I'm just saying.
We about to go down a path, y'all.
Well, we're talking about how you quit silently. We're about to get into it. So
well,
I
thought
people.
when you told me you was cheering me on, I thought you was cheering me on. This is news to me.
Wait, hold up. How does come about me? I just want to be saved. I want to love the Lord. I want to go to heaven. Why does this become about me?
It's not. Go ahead. Keep going.
All right, good. But we're excited for the 26th and the 28th.
Yes,
Listen,
you guys got to get here. Get here.
Yes.
Get here.
How can we find this information? Go on our website. That's one.
You can go on our website, www.much2say.com. If you go on our social media, all the flyers, all the links, all the instructions. I'm very thorough. We're very thorough. It is there. Yes. I would say if you're coming and you're not quite ready to get your plane tickets and stuff, at least get your room. We have room blocks, and it is free to go ahead and reserve your room. So you don't have to pay for anything in this moment as far as the room is concerned, but the rooms are fleeting. Right.
Get your
and so
room.
We want you to, at least get your room and inbox us. Let us know that you're coming. We're going to be preparing. There's going to be some cutoff dates for sure.
Yes.
We have to finalize numbers, menus and all of the stuff by December.
Absolutely.
It's already October.
Yes. We're going to be renewing vows. So there's going to be some incredible things.
Yes.
We're going to be having some fun dancing with the spouses. We're going to have some games. I mean, there's so many things that we got
a comedian.
We got a comedian coming. Listen,
Mr.
you want to
Tim
have
Shropshire, all the way from North Carolina.
You want to know the cool thing about this is, and I would say this. It's like taking a vacation. Like we were just talking on the driving up here. I was like, I like state vacations. I like to be in my own city, especially here in Las Vegas. Shout out to Las Vegas, simply because there's a lot of resorts and hotels that people come to.
Because we don't like flying.
And we don't like flying. Okay, so yes, thank you for adding that on. But part two of that is that when we leave actually our state, it actually allows us to disconnect.
Yes.
And I feel like when marriages go to local seminars, I think that is wonderful. I think you ought to always be supplementing your marriage and feeding it healthy things.
Yes.
But I do believe there's something about getting out, sacrificing, getting away from the kiddos.
Leave them home.
With a babysitter, though. Leave them with a babysitter. Don't be negligent. Okay, don't be neglecting your responsibilities. All right, take your responsibilities. But I believe there's something in that investment when it comes to that. Okay, so that's going to be January 26th to the 28th.
Yes, you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, listen.
Y'all gonna be sad if you miss it. I'm telling you. You know, some people are like, it'll come and go. No, I'm telling you, because we're gonna give recaps.
And then people do stuff like this. Let me help all of those that try to go real deep in this moment. Well, if it's the Lord's will.
No, it is.
Well, listen, was it the Lord's will for you to buy those Nikes? Was it the Lord's will to go
for you to stop at Chick-fil-A? Did you ask him about that?
We love Chick-fil-A. No shout against you. No shots against you, Chick-fil-A. We love you.
And they're not a sponsor.
They're not a sponsor. So yes, but you get what we're saying.
Yes.
Was it? We go all deep when it comes to everything.
We go deep for stuff that we don't want to do.
We don't want to.
Come on, that's a whole nother.
Either you want to invest,
or you don't. But we're hoping that you do.
But the choice is yours. Which pill will you take, the blue or red pill? That's a shout out to a movie. Anyways, listen, let's get into this. Okay, part two. Oh, I almost forgot. Let me give a shout out to Restoration Church.
I see you got your shirt on today.
I just didn't take it off.
He want to make sure.
Restoration Church, I'm shouting you out. Why? Because they are some of the number one supporters
They are.
when it comes to this platform. So I have to give a shout out.
I need them to get on Facebook though. They're watching it via Vimeo on YouTube.
Okay,
but if
listen,
they can come on Facebook,
I need you to watch it on the
comment.
KKVV radio station. That's good. But on the left side, add your Facebook on. Okay, we want to blow it up, share it, all those good things.
Yes,
but shout out
both
to
going on at the same
Restoration Church, phenomenal people,
yes,
incredible families.
Yes,
and man, they're some loving people, aren't they?
They are.
I was feeling some type of way when I walked in today, and they just hugged and greeted me, welcome, and I just said, you know what? If I wasn't at a church, I definitely would be considering Restoration Church. But I love it.
Wait a minute, but would it be Restoration Church if you weren't pastor in it? Huh?
So you know what? Yeah, I'm not going. You're going way too deep for me this morning. Okay, this afternoon. All right. Okay, let's get in part 2. Here we go.
Yes.
All right. We picked up or we dropped off talking about silently quitting in relationships. Okay.
Yes.
We did it together. We didn't practice. That was pretty good. All right. So quitting silently, not loud, not get out of my face. I'm done. But somewhere in that relationship, before it was final, somebody checked out.
Okay.
They mentally, emotionally checked out, and they were just going through the emotions. And we were talking about that last week. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
You want to add to it? Please add to it.
No, well, we count down on time, but we just recapping just a little bit, right? Yeah. So silently quitting, of course, yeah. People who've decided, like you said, that they're just going to go through the motions. We talked about last week what silently quitting looked like, right? People decide to stay in a relationship, right? And sometimes you don't know really what's going on beyond the surface, because people may choose to just not talk about it or not pursue it, the actual quitting in real life, because of certain things, such as like maybe they don't want to go through a divorce, right? Or maybe they don't want conflict in sharing that they choose to quit.
Well, I think that's a big one right there, that word conflict. I think especially if individuals grew up in maybe a hostile family environment, a lot of yelling, and they just deem conflict as a horrible thing.
Yeah, anybody that has a differing opinion, right, that they stay away from that. And so instead of working things out like most marriages should be doing, right, they decide just to kind of internalize it and just keep living, but really in their hearts they've quit.
I feel like that was some challenges we had in our relationship growing up. Was I struggled with conflict because when it came to you, different things that you were a very strong woman, right? And you are confident.
Were.
No, you are, not were. You are a very confident woman. Beautiful on the outside, but confident. Just a beautiful woman. And that's how you deposit men into your wife's emotional account. I wasn't doing it for that, though. But my point was this. However, when I dealt with conflict growing up, it became physical. Because the only way that conflict was with me on the basketball court in school was if you didn't agree with me, we just fight. And so a lot of times people saw conflict as such a horrible thing, like a disagreement. It's horrible. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you. And it's like, did you really mean to say sorry? No, you really wanted to speak your mind, but you're afraid of where it will go. So you just in the element of thinking this is peacemaking when it's really not. You're lying to yourself.
Right.
You really want to speak up, say something, but I don't want it to go to the extreme. And so conflict for me growing up was always, it had to be the extreme. And so that made me afraid to talk, and I felt like if you weren't agreeing with me.
You mean how you handled conflict?
How I handled it. So when I felt like you disagreed, I felt like, oh man, why is she trying to pick a fight with me? Doesn't she see I'm trying to be calm? I'm trying to be. Oh wait, hold up. You said always twice now, so now you got to elaborate. What does always mean?
Well, because it wasn't until.
Here it comes.
It wasn't until.
Wait, hold on. Let me take a drink of my water, please.
It wasn't until I really came to know who God was in my life and who I was in God to understand that my voice that I have, nothing was wrong with that.
Okay.
Right. Like you said, I think due to your past and not understanding how to handle conflict of itself, there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
That's just people having two differences of opinion or things clashing, but no one in this, we're not the same people.
Right.
People don't think the same.
Yeah.
Right. That's how people grow in life. That's how people, do well successfully in businesses, is that they have people that sit at the table and literally will say, pick this apart. Tell me why this won't work. But, for some of us that struggle with that, any differing of opinion, like you said, we just want to stop it. And then the way, like you said, you used to stop it is through physical, through force, right? Because we don't have the tools. And so I used to feel that me having a difference of opinion or having a thought was like something was wrong with me, And it wasn't until I realized, like, that's okay.
Is that how it made you feel, like your difference of thoughts? Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's how you made me feel.
Why you gotta
because
say
that's
it like
what
that?
you told me. That's what you told me. Listen, you all, we're talking about, before we got healed and stuff like that. Yeah, you made me feel like something. You told me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
something was wrong.
I was a jerk back then, wasn't I? Oh man, you said man twice in the same segment. Okay.
But
yes.
But understanding that in relationships you're going to have conflict, right? You're going to have conflict, and that it's important when someone is feeling a certain type of way or experiencing something, right? It's important that they communicate it. And so that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about today, is that when people decide to silently quit, how can you tell that someone is quitting? Because even though they're silently quitting, come on, it's kind of like when someone's giving you the silent treatment. Yeah. Even though they're not saying nothing, something's wrong.
Right. You can tell something's wrong.
Something's
wrong.
Their
body language.
When I give you the silent treatment, do you know when I give you the silent treatment?
Yeah, I know when you give me the silent treatment.
Do you know when I'm giving you the silent treatment, even though I'm still talking to you? Huh?
Yeah, I do, because it's the lack of emotion in the words.
So I'm talking to you.
You're talking to me, but I ain't feeling what
but
you're
I'm not
saying.
talking good.
You're not talking good. It's not. The Bible says like this: crown your head with wisdom and season your words with grace. You speaking, but they ain't seasoned, Doc. You know what I'm saying? They're missing some seasoning.
No, and I think there's times
there needs to be some seasoning salt in that love.
But not just that, but when you're connected to your spouse, you can feel some. It's like some of this you just can't explain. You know what I'm saying? You can feel when you might be talking, you might be doing everything that you normally do, but you're not doing it in spirit.
Right.
And that person that is
what do you mean by that?
What I mean is that we're supposed to be one in the flesh, correct?
Yeah, right.
I can tell when we're off.
So you can tell when we're twain.
I can tell when we're twain, even if it seems like we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
I can tell that we're twain.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is
it's like a team. It's like a basketball team that they're not clicking on all cylinders. Like something's off. I passed the ball. You're supposed to be there. And this is a shout out to my game last night.
Babe, we got 7 minutes and 55 seconds. We don't got time.
Maybe that's another episode. Y'all really don't want to. Please trust me. You don't care about my
game
when
your
yesterday.
Season is over.
Yes.
That's going to be the topic of his.
Okay, I'm looking for another league at this stage of my life. Okay, my season's over. All right, continue on.
But no, understanding that when people have decided to quit silently, what are some of the signs for people to understand? Because people may be saying, well, I'm still cooking, I'm still going to work, I'm still doing all of that. But what does it look like when somebody quits? Communication changes. Silently quits.
Correct.
Tell me, you put me on blast last week and asked me the question, have I ever silently quit on you?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm going to pose the question to you.
Oh, man.
Have you ever silently quit on me? And we're not going to a commercial break.
We ain't got no commercials?
No.
Miss Alyssa, you in there? You ain't got no commercials. She's a general
Shout
manager.
out to Miss Alyssa. No, do not go to commercial. Do not go.
We had a beautiful dinner last Friday. Thank God for First Choice. Yes, that was beautiful. Come on, everybody that's listening, let's give her a hand.
Okay, so have you ever silently quit on me?
Well, I was watching the preseason basketball game today. Yes, I have. Yes.
Really?
Well, I feel like I have. Let me explain what I felt like what was silently quitting.
Okay.
I felt like I was getting to the place of not being heard in our relationship, and I felt like it was so toxic at one point that I felt like, well, what's the point? Our conversations is not, nobody's listening. There's no respect on either side of the fence. And so it just got to the place of when you would talk, I'm not going to say nothing. But it's not that I agree with you. It's not even that I don't want to say nothing back. I'm just going to let you talk. And so after you would get done just being done, I'd be like, all right, basically, are we done? But I'm good. I don't want to participate no more in this because I felt like it was going nowhere. So to me, I felt like that was silently quitting.
But did you also feel like, I'm just asking you, because you said that back in the day when someone had a differing of opinion or weren't doing like you would, use aggression or, you know what I mean? Do you feel like somebody could think that because they're taking that route, silently quitting and just kind of like agreeing and going with the flow, as growth from doing that in the past? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it could
like
look,
they might think that that's maturity, not realizing that it's still damaging.
Well, to your point, that's how I felt. I felt because I wasn't, being loud and all those things. Just, I felt because I was going to the other extreme. I ain't saying nothing. I'm good. That
you still quitting.
I was still quitting. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, I'm good. And I was like, you should celebrate me because I didn't blow up. I wasn't loud. You should celebrate me. You need to kiss me right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a great husband. And I realized that wasn't I wasn't being real, people. Okay, all right. Now I'm on blast. I'm on the hot seat. The truth of the matter was, I was quitting. All right, I was quitting in my mind. I was quitting in my emotions. I was depleted. I felt like we both got to the same place. We wrote a book about it. Our journey to here, and we definitely, if you haven't got that book as of yet, please support, but more than that, let it minister to you. Definitely if you're in a space of thinking about quitting, because I do believe that if you're in that space, you need to really think about before you just move and respond and act out. I know everybody won't make it through it, but I do believe everybody needs to think about it. I'll say it again. I can't sit here and promise that everybody's going to make it through it or make it out of it. You know what I'm saying? Their situation, but I do believe everybody needs to think about it because of the responsibility that we have. But for me, I can see how I would say I could lie to myself and say that was growth because I didn't do nothing, but yet see
that's the lie. That's the deception, thinking that because you're not doing that this is better. But cutting yourself off, or me cutting myself off from you, because like I shared with you, there's been times where I've contemplated too, because I just don't want to deal with when you're working, you have kids and you have people that are following you and looking, that sometimes just I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just not going to emotionally in my heart not share those things anymore. And when I was thinking about silently quitting, that was some of the intentional thoughts I was thinking. That I'm tired of being up against opposition. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shut myself off, and I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to communicate, but I'm not going to share things of my heart.
Nah. So you're literally guarding your heart because you like I'm a
from the person that I feel like
that we should be, being
that we're
supposed
to be fighting not to do that.
I get what you're saying.
But for the sake of like you're not hearing me, I'm not hearing you, but we're too old, and we've been married too long to be trying to get a divorce, right? I'm saying even past our bad season, like our valley season, that these are things that I believe that the enemy will try to even make you feel like, okay, well, you guys aren't going to break up. You're not going to get a divorce, but this is still how you can remain in bondage. And those are the thoughts that I know that I have to every day, you know what I'm saying, pull down, that no matter what we're up against, not to quit.
I love it.
And to keep trying. And that's some of the things that we've been saying to each other. We're going to just keep trying.
Yeah.
If we try to talk about it today rather than shut down and it doesn't go the way we want to, we're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's kind of like what we were talking about today, effort. You got to put forth an effort. And you're right, Frank, in regards of there's a lot of lack of synergy when someone is silently quitting. You're absolutely right in your comment.
All the way from Arizona.
You're right. It's that we've gotten off the same page. And where's the effort? Are you still applying effort? Are you trying? Are you, especially with our phones and all of our distractions these days, sitting these things down and looking back at the person that is, like we used to say, give us your undivided attention. Let's talk. Let's hear each other. Because what are some tips that people can do that are in that moment?
If you are the person that is silently quitting, at least you're demonstrating it through communicating, like you're not communicating like you should. I would challenge you to really, at least if you're trying to if you want to stay married or in a relationship, that you would try to have a conversation with your spouse. You would try. And I would say real quick if there's a spouse on here that's listening and saying, "Yep, that's my spouse," I know that they're quitting silently. I can tell through their communication, genuinely, without putting them on interrogation, without badgering them. If you really want to win, try to come from a humble place and have a conversation and see where that gets you. I realize this. I know we got to go. When two people do things genuinely and authentically, you get better results than when you just do it, but you don't have the right spirit when you do it.
Yeah. I would just say this. It's going to take a lot of humility.
Yeah.
Lay down your pride for the sake of saving your relationship.
Yeah.
Listen, we got to get out of here.
We didn't even get
get
to what we were trying to get to.
Or
I
do
don't
we
know.
need to talk about the dating next week? Should we talk part 3 of this or the day next? I don't know. We got 5 seconds.
Okay.
Listen, enjoy. Have a great day. See you soon.
Bye.
Well, were you able to handle the perspective? Thank you for listening to another segment of The Naked Perspective.
If you would like to see or hear more of us, or if you would like to get in touch with us, please visit our website at www.much2say.com.